Okay. Welcome everybody to day 2 of the showcase. Today's second game is against the North Jersey Avalanche. After a 4-0 win over the Northern Cyclones yesterday. Kind of an odd view. Sideline. So Team Philly down a few men still. Peruto and DeFrugio. Also Lang out. All right, start us off. First line today, looks like Lucas, Colin, Ben, with Ricky and Blake back on defense, and Justin Adams in net. All right, looks like we're all set. Puck's down, one all the way back. Justin knocks it back. Ricky picks it up on the back check against the wall. Got 2 guys on him. Lucas is over to help. Puck's still tied up. Ricky still got 2 guys on him. Pick back up. Lucas gets it. Sends it forward over to Doherty. Doherty cross. Gets a shot off. Same line out for Team Philly. Defensive line change for Thies and Botsk. Puck's down. Shot attempt. Dribbles past. Fisher back along the boards. Getting pinned up against her. Lucas picks it clean. Tries to send it out to the point. Loses it off the stick. Send it back out. Lucas gets it across the blue line. Waits for the zone to clear. Thies back over to charge the puck. Avalanche come away with it. Come up the boards. Lucas, pressure into the boards, pulls the defender off the puck. All the way to the opposite side over to Bops. Bops sends it back up to Lucas. Lucas just outside of his reach. Avs dump it into the zone. Thies tries to clear it, does. Avs. Line change. Justin knocks it back down over to Bops. Bops sends it up the boards over to Cusa. Cusa looking. Has Nichols ahead of him. Zimmerman coming up with him. Swung all the way back. Looks like we're maybe down Fisher, Braden Fisher as well today too. Cusa just off of his skate. So go back over to Ricky. Ricky holds up, looking. Back along the wing, over to Cusa. Cusa dumps it in. Foot race, Zimmerman out to get it. Kobe almost gets it. Nichols tried to get to it. Unable to do so. Backhand by Cusa all the way to the back wall. Centering pass gets all the way out to the goaltender. Nichols on the face-off. It's dumped down. Zimmerman over against the wall. Kobe kicks it out to Blake at the point. Blake gets a shot off. Goaltender. Stick steer over into the opposite side wall. Centering pass. Gets through the neutral zone all the way to the back wall. Avalanche over. Centering pass over to Nichols. Intercepted. Picked back up by Kobe. Kobe dumps it deep. Gets it into the Avs bench. So it should be a center ice face-off. Barthol, Heston, Tobin out on the offensive line today. Avs get it, send it back up in the neutral zone. Tap, no icing, makes its way all the way back. Justin gathers it, drops it. Defender picks it back up. Good job by Barthol. Over to Tobin. Tobin, dangerous pass. Picked up by Heston. Heston gets a shot off. Nice shot. Bob Thies back on defense. Barthol on the faceoff. Puck's down. Avalanche, tip it forward. Bops on a back check with Thies. Backhand over to Justin. Justin puts a glove on it. Lucas out on the line. Try to take a face off. Back over to Fisher. Fisher jumps it back in the neutral zone. Avs pick it up at the blue line. Get a shot off. Justin with a good stick steer. Back over, picked up by Lucas. Sends it back forward over to Fisher. Fisher gets taken off the puck. Dumped in. Now it's back out to Thies at the point. Thies dumps it in all the way to the back wall. Avs send it up the boards. Try to break out. Send it over to the opposite side. Knock it down. Centering pass. Avs were in a line change. Nobody was there. Doherty picks it up. Sends it back over to Bops. Back over to Lucas. Lucas gets by his man on a wing. Tried to get a shot off and goes wide of the goaltender. Back over to Tobin. Tobin tried to dump it in. Avs pick it up in center ice. Now across the blue line. Justin with a nice save. Back over to Tobin. Tobin hits Lucas. Lucas gets tangled up. And that makes its way to the back wall. Puck's down. Back over. Sent forward. Kobe on the forecheck against the back wall. Center. Come across the blue line, opposite side. Shot attempt goes wide. Makes its way out of the rink. Puck's out to the point. Abs get it. Makes its way all the way through to Justin. Justin knocks it down, picked up by Nichols. Nichols comes up. Gets a shot attempt off. Blocker side saved by the goaltender into the corner. Nichols back over with Cusa. Tobin with a nice shot. Puck's down, Nichols pushes forward, sends it up. Ricky keeps it in. Cusa there, back over to Nichols. Nichols cycles, looks, sends it over to the opposite corner, picked up by Kobe. Kobe over to Cusa. Cusa looking, comes away. Try to center pass. Puck is behind the net. Cusa's back over. Nichols back over fighting for it. Avalanche dump it in. Justin knocks it down, back over for Ricky. Ricky. Sends it, back over to Tobin. Tobin, back up to Cusa. Cusa tried to tap it forward. A little bit too much on it. Now it's picked up. Nichols cycles it back opposite side to Tobin. Tobin picks it back up to Heston. Heston puts a stick on it. Knocked down, kept in the zone, now back out Barthel. Thies gathers it, sends it over to the opposite side, over to Bops. Bops, try to center ice, picked up in the neutral zone. Barthel comes across, got Lucas on the opposite side. Lucas picks it up. Try to centering pass over to Thies. Back over to Bops. Bops over to Lucas. Lucas across the blue line, back over. Couldn't control the puck. Delayed offsides. Keep Iliad's clear zone. The zone is cleared. Avalanche gather. Sends it all the way in, all the way to the back wall. That was an icing call. So 10-25-0-0. Face off one, back over to Thies. Sends it deep into the corner, send all the way to the opposite side. Barthol over. Lucas gathers it. Back out. Nice backhand. Good centering pass over to Barthol. Shot attempt. Goes wide. Justin puts a glove on it. Picked up by Bops. Bops back over to Thies. Thies. Lucas tried to charge down to get it, and that'll be an icing call at the 9:45 mark. All right, now it looks like we're down another player. It's like Blake. So 4-man rotation on the defensive end and a skeleton crew on the offensive side as well too. So Team Philly, resilient, will continue to play with short bench. Back over. Knocked back into the corner by Ricky. Good stick. Cycle back on the other side. Avalanche get to it. Try to center. Picked up by Nichols. Nichols sent over to Tobin. Tobin looking up. Tobin charging forward across center ice. Good blue line entry. Cycles back around. Looking for a little bit of help into the corner. Gets pulled off the puck. Fisher out to try to help. Avalanche, cycle back over to the corner, picked up by Ricky. Ricky tries to send it out of the zone, unable to do so. Picked up behind the net by the Abs. Abs send it out to the wing. Picked back up. That's a high stick. And so that will be a high stick. So offensive zone face-off. Nichols, Doherty, Fisher. Puck's down. Back over to the opposite side. Abs. Centering pass, try to break out. Picked up by Fisher. Fisher with a nice shot. Goaltender puts it on his shoulder. Sends it back out. Back over to Thies. Thies sends it back. Makes its way out to the neutral zone. No icing call. Picked up by Bops. Bops back over to Thies. Thies drops it out. Fisher helps it get into the neutral zone. Doherty over to assist. Abs. Justin knocks it down. Thies sends it up the boards over to Doherty. Doherty alongside the boards sends it back up. Abs draw it back out into the neutral zone. Abs try to center it. Bops waits. Lucas was waiting there. Abs send it over to the opposite side. Wall. Picked up by Bops. Bops back over to Lucas. Lucas back over to Doherty. Doherty loses it off his stick. Try to knock it down. Abs send it over to the opposite side corner. Back over to Thies. Picked up by Kobe. Kobe sends it up. Lucas, token pressure, loses the puck. Back over. Lucas gathers, looking for a little bit of help. Dumps it in. Back over to Cusa. Centering pass. Almost got through. Now it's back out to Ricky at the point. Ricky swings it back over to Cusa. Lucas picks it up alongside the wing. Nice centering pass over to Kobe. Unable to capitalize. Abs, center ice. Dump it in. Justin stops at forecheck. Pick back up. Tobin, opposite side over to Ricky. Ricky, back over to Cusa. Cusa, between his legs, pick up. Send it back over to Ricky. Comes across the blue line. Tries to get a shot off and goes wide off a defender's stick. Abs into the neutral zone. Send it to the opposite side. Lucas on the back check. Lucas picks it up, looks, gets it over to Barthol. Barthol across the blue line. Try to get it around the defender. Lucas picks it up, cycles it back over to Barthol. Barthol tries to center it. Avalanche get to it and send it out to the neutral zone. No icing. Tobin back over to Heston. Heston gets a shot off. Goaltender put a new glove on, set in front of him. Fisher tried to kick it down. Bops. Couldn't get out of the zone. Back over to Thies. Heston forwards, back over to Fisher. Fisher's got three guys in front of him. Comes along the wing. Back into the corner. Heston. Abs pick it up. Thies is there. Tries to arm it down. That's back over. Thies skates around. Looks. Sent it back over to Bops. Bops back over to Heston. Heston couldn't control it. So looked like a shot. I couldn't tell whether it was a redirect or went off somebody's jersey. But at the 5:17 mark, the Avalanche get on the board first. Have to go and take a look at that one. From this angle, it looked like it was going outside of the goal. Puck down, won by Team Philly. Thies sends it deep. Back over to the opposite side. Fisher back over to help out against the pressures onto the puck. Colin over to help. Back out to Bops. Bops back skates. Takes a shot, goes off the goaltender's mask, pops over the net. Back out to Thies, charging the blue line. Doherty over to help out. Doherty gets it. Back over to Lucas. Lucas centering pass at Doherty coming up the slide, intercepted by the Avalanche. Sent back over to the opposite side. Lucas. Back over to Doherty. Doherty. Opposite side over to Lucas. Lucas couldn't control it. Tried to turn and fire. Doherty sitting in the slot. Move around. Avalanche. Send it deep back behind the net. Ricky back over. Lifts a stick. And Justin puts a stick on it, a glove on it. So 4:12 left first period. Team Philly down 1-0. Nichols out on the ice, back over to Tobin. Tobin tries to send to opposite side. Kobe putting the wheels on, try to get to the puck. Good stick, back over. Centering pass, nice to Cusa. Kobe with incredible hustle on that. Abs, center, picked up by Tobin. Tobin ushers it forward. Abs get to it. Nah, that's an offsides. Puck's down, sent to the other side. Nichols with pressure. Kobe charges forward, sends it deep. Gets all the way to the back wall. Tobin charging forward. Gets knocked off the puck. Now the puck's out the neutral zone. That's picked up by Nichols. Nichols sends it back. Picked up by Tobin. Tobin sent it back over. Kobe couldn't control it, jumped his stick. Picked up by Cusa. Cusa looking for a little help. Sent back out. Ricky in a foot race. Justin sends it up the opposite wall. Tobin right between his skates. Picked up by Lucas just on the ice. Couldn't control it as he came down slot. Barthol tried to stop it. Avalanche send it into the zone, picked up by Hessen. Hessen on the back check, back into the corner. Centering pass gets knocked off of Lucas's skates, sent back behind the net. Picked up by Tobin. That should be an icing call, and it is. Puck's down. Shot attempt from the dot. Justin with a nice kick save. Heston on the opposite side, picked up by Lucas. Center ice, try to swipe at it. Was not able to do so. Bops pressures onto the puck, picked up by Thies. Richard makes a move around, sends it back over to Bops. Bops kicks it down the neutral zone, back out to Barthol. Barthol taps it forward. Back out to Bops at the point, sends it deep. Heston back over. Barthol looking to grab it out. Lucas, pressure into the corner, gets it. Try to make a charge in front of the net, backhand. Back over.
Just straight across.
And there's a trip coming up on the Avalanche as Bops makes his way across the blue line. So all right, so Team Philly at the 1:16 mark will be on a power play. Doherty, Fisher, Nichols, Zimmerman, and Mott. Back out to Nichols at the point. Back over in the wing to Doherty. Back out. Opposite side over to Lucas. Lucas tried to center pass back over. Kobe tried to race toward to keep it in the zone. Nichols picks it up, charges all the way back, sent it back over to Kobe. Cycles it back over. .40 seconds left in the period. Lucas tried to hit Nichols coming up opposite side. Lucas picks it up, and looks like there's going to be a penalty coming up on. Actually, I didn't see it. He's in pain. I don't know if there's a penalty coming up or whether he just. Penalty called on Nichols for interference. So 4-4 for potentially the remainder of this period. Puck's down, back over. Avs control off the face-off, back into the corner. Ricky picks it up, sent back out to the point. Avs comes out of the zone. Lucas picks it up. He's got Doherty with him. Try to get a shot off a defender's stick. 14 seconds. Tipped out, 9 seconds. Sent back over to the opposite side. 3, 2, 1. All right, so at the end of the first period, Team Philly down 1-0 with a small bench. right, so start of second period, 4-on-4 for 44 seconds. Nichols in the box for interference. The other Avalanche player in the box for tripping earlier. Lucas, Colin, Bobst, and Richard out on the ice. All right, looks like we're all set. Drop, back over. Bops try to control, come away by the abs, pull it out of the zone, send it back. Opposite side over to Doherty. Doherty, across the blue line. Goes off the side of the net, picked back up by Doherty. Doherty cycles it back around. Back out to Thies. Thies gets leveled. 2-on-1, Bobst on the back check. Shot attempt off of Justin's shoulder, makes it to the back screen. Nice save by Justin. Two nice saves by Justin, actually. Back over to Lucas. Lucas has it knocked away. Thies is there. Back out to Bobst. Bobst over to Doherty. So Team Philly down a man. Back over to Bobst. Bobst, back over to Doherty. Doherty, back over to Lucas. Kicked forward by the Avalanche. Avalanche keep it in the zone. Back behind the net, picked up by Thies. Even strength. Shot attempt goes wide of the net. Nichols out on the ice, picked up by Bobst. Bobst loses the puck back along the boards, picked up by the Avalanche. Still fighting for it. Go to redirect. Nichols with a turnover right in front of the goaltender. The centering pass goes wide of the net, back in the neutral zone. Nichols knocks the defender off. Justin knocks it back for Thies. Thies sends it up the boards. Lucas is there, taps it into the neutral zone. Set all the way to the back wall. Thies on the back check. That'll be an icing call. So 14:31 left. Second period, 1-0 Avalanche. Nichols on the faceoff. Kobe with him. Ab send it out to the point, loses it. Come all the way back. Cusa back with pressure on. Ricky's there. Abs. Try to dump it back in. Centering pass right in front to the slot. It's kicked back out over to Cusa. Cusa's got a guy in front of him. Cusa across the blue line. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful shot. Goaltender barely got to that. Nice shot by Cusa. So 14 minutes. Even strength, 1-0 Avs. Avs went it to the back wall. Cycle it to the opposite side. Try to clear it into the zone. Centering pass, back over. Just outside the reach of Heston. Back over to Tobin. Tobin sends it out to the neutral zone. Lucas back over. Delayed offsides. Av have to clear the zone. Back over to Tobin. Tobin over to Heston. Couldn't control. Outside the reach of Lucas. Set long. Back all the way to Justin. Referee's doing a horrible job as Justin gets slashed on the arm. Justin gets slashed on the arm and Tobin retaliates, so then they call both players. So it's going to be offsetting penalties. So 5-on-5. Puck's down. Back over. Picked up by Thies. Over to Doherty. Doherty's got Fisher ahead of him. Fisher knocks it down with his glove. Back into behind the net. Abs get it. Tap forward, all the way to the back wall. You're good. Cycle back out to the point. Gets by a defender, makes his way all the way down. Doherty on the forecheck. And sends it out into the protective netting, so end zone faceoff. Puck stop, back over to Doherty. Doherty turns, gets a shot off. Lucas back over to pick the puck up. There's a penalty coming up on the Avs for a hook. So the Avalanche will be down a player as Team Philly puts their special teams unit on the ice. Puck's back out to the point to Nichols. Nichols keeps it in. Back over to Doherty. Doherty looking. Back out to the point to Nichols. Puck's down in front. And the net comes off the moorings. Puck's down, back over to Doherty. Doherty sends it back to the back wall. Fisher over to put pressure onto the puck. Picked back up. Sent back out to Nichols at the point. Over to Doherty. Gets a shot off. Fisher back over to Doherty. Tipped by the defensive stick. Makes its way all the way back to the back wall. Nichols. Pick back up. Over to Doherty. Nichols gets it. Opposite side, back over to Lucas. Lucas tried to get a shot off, knocked down in front. Lucas sends it back out to the point to Doherty. Nichols. Turnover. Sent all the way back up. 43 seconds left on the power play for Team Philly. Back over to Kobe. Kobe taking off the puck, looking for a little bit of help. Makes his way all the way to Ricky. Ricky makes a move around, comes across the blue line. Back over to Doherty. Doherty. Back over to Lucas. Lucas. Can't see the referee. 19 seconds. Back out to Ricky. Over to Doherty. Power play's not working today. Chester. Hold it back up. No icing call. Not sure why that wasn't. Abs sent it into neutral and picked up by Bops. Bops backhand delayed offsides. Team Philly clears his own. 10 minutes left for second period. Bops pressure onto the puck. Back along the back wall. Comes away with it. Bops has got Cusa with him. Gets taken off the puck. Cusa all the way to the back wall. Back over to Cusa. Bops charge forward. Back to the back wall. Cusa's there. Pushes off the backside of his stick. Try to get it up the boards. Now picks it back up again. Back into the corner. Sends it out to the point to Ricky. Ricky drops it in all the way to the opposite side. 9:13 left second period. Abs send it all the way. No icing. Picked up by Justin. Ricky. Wards off a defender. Comes across the blue line. Shot attempt. Back out to the point to Nichols. Nichols gets knocked down in front of the net. Picked up by Zimmerman. Zimmerman with a nice shot opportunity. Kobe, Aiden, Colin, with Sean and Richard out on the ice. Puck's down. Abs. Good job by Tobin. Take him off the puck. Tobin swings opposite side over to Nichols. Nichols looking. Finds Thies on the opposite side. Thies off the back wall. Cycles it. Picked back up by Tobin. Tobin, good job. Sending it back in the zone. Team Philly clears the zone. Sends it back over. Thies charging up the wall. Zimmerman's there to try to get a shot off. I believe that's going to be tripping on Kobe. So Team Philly would be down a man.
Played Philly in the quarterfinals. They were shit on like 7-1, 5 and
Looks like Barthol with Lucas out on the ice. They do. Can you move back a little bit for me? Thanks. Picked up at the point by the Avalanche. And that'll make its way out of the zone.
We had 60 shots on. The two like right now. We had 60 shots on that. And then Cars were the game winner. Earlier, our first showcase.
7:39.
We played them. Wasn't I not there?
Puck's dropped, back out. Avalanche, which we try to control. Picked up by Lucas, sent all the way deep. Avalanche come across the blue line. Picked up by Thies. Back along the boards, Avalanche gather. Tobin's back over to gather. Tobin pulls it back out. Gets it outside the zone. Oh, center's pass. Barthol's back over to retrieve it. Avs pick it up. 1 minute left on the penalty kill for Team Philadelphia. Lucas trying to put a stick on it, and that's an offside. 51 seconds left on Team Philly's penalty kill. Nichols, Heston, Wright, Bobst. The puck's down, back out in the neutral zone, picked up by Heston. Heston sends it deep. Sent up to the neutral zone. Nichols back over charging. Back out. Avalanche sent it to the opposite side. Ricky on the back check tries to take a swipe at it. Heston over to charge, and that'll make it out. Nichols in a foot race. Try to knock it down. Good job by Heston to follow up. Even strength as Team Philly kills off the penalty. Kobe back out onto the ice. Doesn't make its way past. Back over to Jake. Jake. Back over to Colin. Back over to Jake. Jake sends it over to the opposite corner. Kobe's back over to retrieve it. Fops comes off the blue line to get to it. Kobe loses it off his stick. Back over to Cusa. Cusa. Abs, turn and backhand it. Back to the other side. Come across the blue line. A good stick by Bops. Cusa, Doc, Lucas, Tobin, and can't tell who's down. Ricky, I think, maybe. Puck's down, back out to the point. Abs send it deep, back over to Tobin. Tobin sends it back up over to Doc. Doc center pass back over to Cusa. Over to Lucas. Lucas gets a shot off and goes wide. Back over to Cusa. Cusa, turns, cycles. Cycles it back over to Lucas. Lucas back out to the point to Tobin. Tobin gets a tripping call coming up, delayed offside, delayed penalty. So a trip. So Team Philadelphia will have a power play at the 4:33 mark. All right, so Team Philly looking to get points on the board here with a power play. Fisher on the faceoff. Puck's down, back over to Doherty. Doherty sent it deep, back over to Zimmerman. Nice pass attempt, knocked down by the Abs, sent all the way back to the back wall. Nichols. Back over to Doc. Doc gets it over to Lucas. 3-on-2 opportunity. Lucas, point blank shot over top of the goaltender's head. Back over to Fisher. Fisher sends it back out to the point to Nichols. Nichols. No goal. Went off the post. So a minute, 21 seconds left on the power play. Fisher again on the faceoff. Picked up by Doherty. Doherty sends it back all the way to the opposite side. Picked up by Zimmerman. Kobe drops it over to Colin. Shot attempt. Oh, opposite side pass to Lucas. Could not capitalize on it. Lucas knocked it down with his skate. Tried to pivot it forward, couldn't. Avalanche push it forward into their zone. Come across. Wow, Justin, quick reaction, knocked it down. Pick back up. Doherty. Try to get to it. Back over to Doherty. Too many skaters out on the ice for the Avalanche. So it'll be a 5-on-3 opportunity.
You should bring Duncan to the ring.
So 5-on-3 opportunity for Team Philadelphia. For stop. Back over. Cusa back pressure onto the puck. 26 seconds left on the first penalty. Heston sends it out to the point to Ricky. Ricky looking opposite side, back over to Bops. Back out to Ricky at the point. Got to try to get a shot on net before the first one expires. Back out to Bops. Bops takes a shot. 6, 5. So that will kill the first penalty. So Team Philly will still have a man advantage for a minute, 24 seconds. Sends it back over to Ricky. Ricky tried to make a move around. Pulls up. Has it taken away from behind him. And Ricky's going to get called for the hook. So Ricky loses it in the defensive zone. Comes back, hooks. Player. So Team Philly will be playing 4-on-4 for the next minute and 7 seconds. 2:10 left in the period. Got back down. Nice shot. Good pick save by Justin. Not sure how he saw that one. Picked up. Lucas. And there's a penalty coming up.
Nobody in your room tonight? Nobody in my room.
All right, so Team Philly 4-on-3 opportunity. Puck's down, back over. Oh, Lucas down into the boards, into the corner. Not quite sure. He got into the neck. I think Lucas lost an edge.
I asked him that. Oh, yeah.
He's okay. So 4 on 3 for 48 seconds. 150 left in the period. Team Philly back over to the corner. Abs pick it up into the corner. Picked up by Nichols. Nichols looking up to Fisher. Fisher sends it back up, taps it nicely to Thies. Thies across the blue line. Back out to Doherty. Doherty tries to get opposite side over to Nichols. Back over to Doherty. Back out to the point. Thies thought about it. Loses it off his stick. Back up, 14 seconds left. Scores! Doherty with a follow-up with a rebound. So Team Philly finally gets on the board after a shot from Nichols. Glove save by the goaltender, couldn't capitalize on it. Doherty swings it around, gets under the 5-hole for the first score of the game. So it'll still be 4 on 4. For a minute and 3 seconds. Lucas back out on the ice. Tobin, bops, Cusa, pucks down. Avalanche, opposite side. Bops charging the line. Back over. Try to clear it out of the zone, so unable to do so. Back into the corner. Lucas gets it, looks, sends it up. It's in a foot race. Going to win that foot race, back into the corner, sends it over to the opposite side. Picked up by the Avalanche, cycles it back around. Oh my gosh. The guy has his arm stuck. Holy cow.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was. This guy holding up.
Hey, you tell him, Maddie.
All right, Lucas, Bops, Q-sub, Tobin. Pucks down. Avalanche come away with it. 40 seconds left in the period. Sent back over to the opposite side. Bops on the back check. And there's going to be a penalty coming up. So 13.4 seconds. Team Philly will be a 4 on 3.
Yeah, no, I heard it. Dude, yeah, same with the shoulder out.
Nichols, Thies. Back over. Cleared back out. Doherty gets to it. It's 4 on 4. Now it's back opposite side. Thies charging the puck. 2 seconds left in the period. And that's the end of the second period. So 1-1 as Team Philly gets on the board in the second period. And Team Philly will be down a man.
Like, the website. So, and I was asking him, I says, here's the second before you rule, you're on the road a lot of times, you're the same thing, you're representing. If you don't have your assistant coach, you can take anybody from the stand. And I said, so you stick away the rules, you're going to put any variable in there that's not safe for qualifier or anything.
All right, looks like we're ready for the third period to start. 17 minutes, game's tied 1-1. Team Philly battling through shortages on the bench. Coming into the third period with a penalty kill situation, be down a man for a minute and 47 seconds. Lucas, Anthony, Richard, and Sean out onto the ice. Try to kill off this penalty. Switch out, start, back over to Tobin. Tobin sends it all the way back. Lucas, little token pressure, loses an edge. Avalanche, send it over to the opposite side. Come across the blue line, look to set something up. Avalanche, go all the way back behind the net, send it up the wall. Cycle it around to the opposite side. Tobin, little token pressure onto the puck. Back out to the point. Opposite side. Ooh, whips on the puck. Now it's back out again. Peace gets to it. Lucas sends it up. 1 minute left on the penalty kill for Team Philly. Barthol with little token pressure. Back out into the neutral zone. Doherty out onto the ice. Come across the blue line. Shot attempt goes off of Tobin. Avalanche. Centering pass somehow got to Justin. Justin knocked it down. Picked back up by the Avalanche into the corner. Back or wing. Kick it back out. Try to clear the zone. Unable to do so. Shot attempt goes really high. Tobin gets to it. Sends it all the way back down the boards. 21 seconds left on the penalty kill for Team Philadelphia. Doherty. Heston out on the ice, Ricky and Nichols. Avalanche. Centering pass, drops it back, picked up by Colin. That should kill the penalty. Heston on the forecheck. Heston back along the boards, knocks it down, tries to pull it forward. It's got two guys on him. Now it's even strength, and that goes into the protective netting. So it'll be a offensive zone face-off for Team Philadelphia. .15:05. Puck's down. Lucas. Oh, opposite side. Pass through, got over to Kobe. Kobe couldn't capitalize on it. Lucas. Check into the board, back over to Kobe. Kobe centering pass right out to the slide, gets by the goaltender out into the neutral zone now. Bops knocks it down, that goes into the bench. Lucas tries to push it forward. Bops back in, comes across the blue line. Now it's back out. Lucas. Picked up by Bops. Bops sends it back out. Now gets into the neutral zone. Sends it up. Avalanche. Send it all the way in. Back over to Ricky. Ricky makes a move around. Good move. That looks like an offsides. Yep. Cusa, Mott, Kobe, Ricky, Bobst. Back over to Cusa. Cusa couldn't control it. Center ice. sent all the way back to the back wall. Picked up by Bops. Bops looking. Send it back out. Looked like an interference call could have been called there. Kobe tried to get it out into the neutral zone. Avalanche gained the zone, picked up by Ricky. Ricky over, swipes at it. Lucas comes away with it. Lucas tried to take a move around, unable to get by the defender.
There for 10, 15 minutes, I go right to him. He was a grand
Kobe tried to get into it. And that'll be an icing call. Line change for Team Philadelphia. Fisher, Nichols, Barthel, Tobin, and Thies. Nichols on the faceoff. Puck's down, backhand by Barthel, gets outside the goal, picked out by Fisher. Fisher takes a shot and goes wide. Back out to Barthel. Nichols over to help, picks it up, sends it back out to the point to Thies. Thies gets a shot attempt. Goaltender knocks it down. Fisher was there, unable to capitalize on it. Picked up behind the net, Barthel charging. Avalanche come away with it, rides the rim of the board, send back over to Thies. Thies, centering pass, right out in front. Barthel try to drop it back over to Thies. Shot attempt goes high and over Justin's head, back out to the neutral zone. Fisher comes away with it. It's got two guys in front of him. Fisher gets a shot off. Nichols centers it. So it looks like offsetting penalties. To me, Jake was stopped in his tracks. Looked like more of an interference. Unsure of how that call was. They're going to call it 5-on-5. So 5-on-5. Doc, Fisher, Lucas. Puck's down. Picked up by the Abs. Abs taken off the puck, back over to Fisher. Fisher swipes at it. Lucas back over, pressure. Sent back all the way. Bops on the back check. .12:02 left in the game, 1-1. Lucas on the face-off. Puck back, Avalanche control into the corner, try to send it up the boards. Kicked out on the neutral zone, bopped over, send it back over to Fisher. Fisher loses it at the blue line, picked up by the Abs. Lucas gathers it as the defender loses it. Fisher. It's like a penalty coming up. They're calling that on Lucas. They're calling offsetting penalties. I'm not understanding the calling today. Guess it's not for me to understand. Coach Wolf is none to be happy. So again, 4-on-4 at the 11:30, or 5-on-5 at the 11:38 mark. Nichols on the face-off. Avalanche come away with it. Try to send up the board. Ricky keeps it at the blue line, picked up by Doherty. Doherty cycles and sends it back in the zone. Avalanche sends it over to the opposite side. Now it's back over. Ricky's there. Avalanche pick it up, centering pass. Back over to Doherty. Doherty gets it out in the neutral zone, picked up by Fisher. Fisher makes its way out to the neutral zone. Thies picks it up over to Ricky. Ricky back to Thies. Ricky. Avalanche send it up. Nichols back over to help. Pulled outside the zone. Doherty. Ricky on the back check. Good move by Kobe. Kobe gets it up. Gets all the way down to the puck himself. Pick back up. Fisher back over to help out. Gets taken off the puck. Avs pick it up. Kobe with good pressure. Cusa now on the ice. Back over to Kobe. Backhand goes wide. Avs try to clear the zone. Thies gets checked off his skates. Tobin sends it deep. Avs try to cycle it on the opposite side. Kobe picks it up. Back over to Cusa. Cusa looking. Had Thies coming up the slot. Delayed offsides. Zone is cleared. Avalanche send it up. That should be an icing call.
No, that's where you don't have to say anything else because I'm right in front of you.
So Team Philly. The 9:30 mark is tied up, and it's even strength at this point. Lucas, Anthony, Doherty. Avalanche run it back to the back wall. Cycle it back over to the opposite side. Back over to Lucas. Lucas gets knocked off his skates. And that makes its way into the penalty box. Same lineup out on the ice. Pops to Ricky on the defensive end. Barthol sends it deep onto the net, and the goaltender gloves it down. Touchdown. Lucas tried to get over to it. Ricky at the blue line trying to protect. Kicked forward by the Avalanche. Sends it to the opposite corner. Ricky back over. Back over to Lucas. Lucas looking. Back over to Barthol. Back over to Doherty. Doherty across the blue line. Back in the slot to Barthol. It's a nice feed. Barthol had a chance. Avs pull it back behind their net. Doherty over to help out. Avs send it deep. Justin knocks it down. Stop the forecheck. Sends it back up over to Barthol. Back over to Lucas. Lucas sends it deep. Line change for Team Philadelphia. Nichols try to send it back. Cusa, Nichols, Kobe out onto the ice. That'll be they're going to call that off. Back over to Tobin. Tobin cycles it back over opposite side to Thies. Thies pulls it up to Kobe. Kobe taps it into Nichols. Tobin pulls it back up over to Cusa. Cusa tried to feed Kobe coming up center ice, intercepted by the Avalanche. Back over to Thies. Thies gets a hold of it, across the blue line. Goes off the side of the net, all the way out to the blue line. Nichols holds it in. 7:07 left in the game. Thies sends it deep. Back over to Cusa in the corner. Into the slot. Kobe gets taken down. Nichols gathers it, takes a shot, goes wide. Makes his way out to the neutral zone. Tobin charges forward. Goaltender reaches up for it, drops it down. Avalanche. Send it all the way back down over to Bops. Bops cycles it back over to Tobin. Tobin. Fisher. Sends it deep. Avs in the corner, regather it. Back out to the neutral zone. Dumps it back in. Opposite side corner. Ricky on the back check. Kicks it back out. Lucas pulls it up. Fisher looking. Tries to get over to Doherty. Doherty couldn't control it. It's picked up by Ricky. Avalanche across the blue line by himself. Sends it deep into the corner. Picked up by Lucas. Lucas gets it all the way back down. Doherty with low pressure. Fisher on the opposite side. Lucas able to pick it up. Loses it. Avalanche charge on the wing, come down. Centering pass almost gets knocked in by our own player. 4:53 left in the game, 1-1. I think that's Lucas down in the corner. There's an off penalty coming up. Justin comes out of the net. Team Philly tries to put an extra man on. And that will. So at the 4:21 mark, the Avalanche will be down a player. Fisher on the faceoff. Lucas, Kobe, Nichols, Doherty. Not sure what the argument is from the Avalanche bench. Puck's down back out to Nichols. Nichols drops it in back behind the net. Fisher back over to put pressure onto it. Sent all the way up the ice. Back over to Kobe. Kobe Try to get it off his skate, back over to Nichols. Nichols sends it back out to Doherty. Doherty. Over to Kobe. Kobe. Back out to Doherty at the point. Eric. Sorry. Back over to Aiden. Aiden back up to Lucas. Lucas tried to get a shot off. Goes off a defender's skate. .3:19 left in the game. Send it back over to Doherty. Doherty loses it off his stick. Lucas backhand. Two players take themselves off, so numbers coming up if they can get there. Shot attempt by Kobe. Doesn't go anywhere. Back over to Doherty on the opposite side. Doherty gets a shot attempt. So 30 seconds left on Team Philadelphia's power play. Unable to capitalize on the power play opportunities today. Barthol, Cusa, right. Bops and Heston out on the ice. Barthol back over into the corner, picked up by Bops. Bops sends it on net. Man. .22 seconds left on the power play. Back to center slot. Heston couldn't control it. Avalanche sent it all the way up the ice. Justin's all the way back, knocks it down, picked up by Cusa. Cusa comes up. Cusa, backhand. Turnover, tried to get there. Picked up by Ricky. Ricky charging forward. Back over the opposite side to Cusa. Cusa, backhand. Oh my gosh. And that gets to the protective netting. So even strength at the 2:07 mark. Lucas, Fisher, Zimmerman, Tobin, Thies. Puck's down, Lucas picks it up. Tried to center it over to Fisher, unable to get to him. That's picked back up in the neutral zone. Thies sends it deep. Avalanche try to send it up the wall. Picked up by Doherty. Scores! Doherty hits Lucas in the slot for a one-timer. Get by the goaltender to put Team Philly up 2-1 at the 1:49 mark. Woo. Puck's down, all the way back. Tobin sends it up. Lucas just outside of his reach. Doherty comes across the blue line, send opposite side over to Lucas. Lucas try to send it in. Be surprised if the Avalanche might try to pull the goaltender here in a minute. Picked up by Lucas. Lucas. Oh, try to back feed over to Lucas on the backside. Back over to Fisher. Fisher back in the neutral zone. Doherty. That was an offsides. Tobin across the blue line. 1 minute left in the game. Avalanche send it deep, swung around opposite side. Justin knocks it down. Tobin back over to retrieve it. Picked back up by Tobin. Tobin gets it out in the neutral zone. Cusa charging forward. Back over. Empty net for the Avalanche. Nichols over to help. Cusa gets to it. Cusa will have it all by himself and scores. So empty net, pick up by Cusa at the 22-second mark. Put the game 3-1. Kobe, Jake, Thies, Fox, and Doherty out on the ice. Puck's down, Avalanche gather. 16 seconds. Heston sends it back up. Doherty all the way to the back wall. And 8 seconds left. That should just about do it. All right, so that'll do it. So Team Philly, after an extremely hard-fought battle with the Avalanche. Good game by Justin in net. So Team Philly comes away with a 3-1 win with an extremely short bench, injured players. All right, folks. So game today at 4:30, same rink. So stay tuned. That one will be against the Arizona Bobcats. So we'll see you folks then.